Um, I will go ahead and record as well too. And if anybody's new joining, let me go ahead and uh, I don't know if Sal is on or if he's gonna take over or speak or whatnot. But Sal, if you are, I gave the ability to share screen. So if you want to share your screen and um, any other plays that you want to talk about. So far, what we have discussed is Tesla. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then boom, and then voila. So if you can see my screen, put a one in the chat. All right, cool, cool, cool. Not everybody needs to. I get it. 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 Sorry. I probably should have said only a couple people put a one. Because if most of y'all putting ones in the chat, then I'm pretty sure everybody can see, right? So again, if Sal's on, if you ever want to jump in or whatever, I don't know if you joined or whatnot, but if you ever want to jump in, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't
I,
know. I'm here, man. This damn shit got a lot of dings, and this shit weird as hell, bro.
I don't know what that even means, but all right.
I mean, well, I know you don't. Well, I really don't know what the hell it means either. I mean, I know it's. I guess it's. I don't know if this from Discord or applications or what, but it's a whole bunch of. However, whenever I figure out how to turn this shit off, I'm gonna be a happy man.
All
Because
right.
it's a bunch of
Somebody asked, is it your new MacBook?
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's probably it's probably the Discord dog. It's the moon sign. So now MacBook knows about the astrology. All
Man, Drake came through. He showed me how to do that shit quick though.
right, cool. Okay. So for those of you, if anybody just joined, we were just talking about Tesla, right? So we're looking at the 280 cons for January. And again, let me just reiterate, like I said in the Discord chat, um, some of these swing plays that we are looking at, again, they're going to require patience, right? They may not even hit um, this Monday. You know what I'm saying? It may not hit, even this week. So you need to give it some time. You need to give it some patience, and you need to be okay with that. All right. If you cannot be okay with that, and you're constantly going to be watching what it's doing, probably not a good idea to swing it. Just being honest. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
For one, your patience will be tested. Um, I think me myself personally, I think it's time to swing. And be aggressive at it. XLY and XLI, those are the two sectors I personally want to attack. And because there's a lot of good setups that I seen in here earlier. Um, would they pull back? Of course, but that's when you yourself got to figure out, is you gonna hold your nuts, or you gonna drop them motherfuckers? Excuse my language. That's the only way I know how to talk. You could make a hell of a bag from this shit here. Um, I'm gonna say Shinyer. I hope I'm not butchering her name. Is Louis CL. She's been doing an excellent job of using that strat bot and swinging, and she been actually finding her own plays. A big huge salute to her. Um, First, I want to point out to Tesla the let me see here. So on the daily, you know that is bullish, of course. Too real. You could go to now if that goes in force. Me myself personally, I'm gonna grab the 250s and for next week. Now, reason why I want to grab the 250s is because if you look at that 2 day, that trigger 238.83, that goes all the way up to 252.75.
which, if
My
I could just cut in on that, that's also going to be your monthly entry as well too. That
exactly.
250, 275.
Yeah, you good, bro. I mean, me and you see eye to eye with a bunch of this shit here. So
Yeah,
basically, whatever you say, I'm literally saying too. You
yeah.
know, um,
Sort of just to
what up?
build on what you're saying there, right? if you wanted to, you know, go the route of what Sal's saying, which is basically grab that 250, right? If the 250 triggers the 252, you have options at that point. Either let that 250 run, or you can decide to roll that into the January 280s as well. So that's just some food for thought. I'm not saying you have to do that, and I'm not saying that is what I'm going to do, or I'm just saying like you have options at that point.
Look here, I tell y'all one thing. If you get 260 in the month of December, those 280s will grow intrinsically. And what I mean by that, you'll more than likely, I'm not saying it will, but it's a high possibility that you'll go over that strike and you'll be able to eat like crazy. Now, some pullback will come, so don't think this shit just gonna go straight up because you're gonna have some, fuck shits somewhere along the point, along this journey.
Right.
You know, but that's why you buy time too.
Right, absolutely. Um, right, because I mean, if you just look at previous history of what it was doing, right? You know, before every single move up, right, it drops a little bit, right? After you got the move up down here, right? Then you get the pullback. So, you know, just for example's sake, right? Let's say you were shooting for that 300 over here, right? You could have rolled right here, right? And then let it run up there, or even rolled and then let it run up there as well too. Um, so yeah, you can either I would say that yeah, if it does trigger on the daily time frame, 250s probably wouldn't be a bad way to go because it's probably gonna look to take out that swing high right there for the week. Um, but again, if you also want to do it as a swing, that's fine as well too. Just again, just understand that you need to be patient with it because there are targets and areas of resistance that price is going to have to eat through and probably pull back from, right? Like if even if we take this out, you'll probably find some resistance at that 268.94 level, right? Not even simply because it's double top. It'll probably like go just slightly higher than that. But then you also have to worry about where price exhausted over here as well too, in this range as well too. So, you know what I mean? So um, there will be pullbacks along the way, which is why I said if you want to do it, like if you're getting into swings and you can afford multiple contracts, you know, if price gets up to this 268 and gets a little bit higher, I would probably start taking profit and like leaving some runners at that point. And then, you know, and then if it gives you that pullback, you can go ahead and load up again for that next leg up to, you know, the 300 level because we still have this order block here that still hasn't been tested. Not to mention there is on the daily, I forgot to mark that out, my bad. Not to mention there's also let me change that to a gap fill um, from 280 to 289 as well too, right? So price may reject the gap, right? Pull back a little bit, obviously gain some strength before that next leg up, and then probably, eat through the gap fill and then again test the order block up here as well too to get to, um, that 300 level, which is where I expect it to probably pull back at that point.
Yes, absolutely, because that's a site level as well.
Yeah.
Now, a cheap ticker to play. Now, this is not in the sector XLY, but a very cheap ticker to swing right now that I think a lot of people should keep their eye on is plug. Now, you can play. Now, you can trade the option in this, or you can buy the shares in this. Very cheap, cheap, cheap play, and I really think this has quite a bit of upside to it.
All right, let's take a look, right? So I'm sorry, I don't know why my trading view's been like, oh yeah, simply because of where price is at right now, this is like at a really good ass buy because price basically returned um back to the same level where it was consolidating over here back in 2015, basically from 2015 all the way to what, 2020? Yeah, in mid 2020 is when it finally took off. So it's basically returned back to that level of consolidation and where it previously bounced from before. So um I mean, if it does drop any lower, let me see. Actually, no, it's here. If it does drop, oh no, see, beautiful. It bounced right. Yeah, so actually that's the ICT concept. So let me, and I'm not I'm not 100% on that yet. So let me not talk about that part yet. But um, basically it's at a level where it looks like it could potentially bounce from. And honestly, you got a lot of room, yo. Honestly, I would probably even look at leaps for this because from a strat standpoint, you have a PMG setup to the upside on the monthly. Um, and then the end of that PMG is that swing high up there at 1344. So that makes me think like, all right, let me look at some leads for like the $10 range, somewhere around there. Um, I mean, obviously, if you want to do something closer, that's fine. It's just that plug is generally a slow mover. So for me, I'll probably look at something at the very least 3 months out. Um, yeah, basically any time frame you look at, it's going to show you that it's pretty much at a bottom, right? It's returned back to this order block over here, and bounced off so far. So yeah, I mean, this is in a really decent position to go ahead and potentially grab some leaps. And as you can see, it's been holding support above this 321 level right here. Yeah, plug is cheap too, so you could probably load up on multiple cons. But if you do, just remember this is one that you're not gonna sit here and watch this. You're not gonna sit and watch it like day after day, especially if you go 3 months or more out. This is not something that you're gonna watch day after day. This is kind of like how I play forward, basically set it and forget it, essentially. So that's my 2 cents on that. But Sal, yeah, if you want to add your 2 cents. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Sal? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Yo, let me text him. Hold on. I don't know what's up with his MacBook, but let me text him.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. But I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So I was just saying if you wanted to add your 2 cents to it. I like that gap. Oh, golly. Damn, it's about to enter into a gap too. I think FIFA had mentioned this throughout the week. Oh, it is in a gap.
Yeah,
My bad. It's already in the
yeah.
gap, but damn.
Another play that's in the gap right now too that I'm gonna say a lot of people can eat off of is ENPH.
Ten
So I
phase.
was yeah, I was actually in this shit 105s for next week. And you know how them gaps here sometimes you could be, you in it, but I'm gonna say the you fluctuating up and down like weird kind of ways and shit. And so that kind of messed with me. And I just took the gains and got out the play, but I should have just stayed in them 105s.
Yeah, it's still got room to run up, honestly. This is an old it's cool to see it's still respecting too. This is an old excuse me, old broad information drawn and it respected the crap out of it. We got the 2-2 reversal on the monthly back to the upside. So we're actually looking from a swing standpoint, we're looking
I
to
honestly think I honestly think this gonna make a run like PANW. And why I say that, because when I used to play PANW and 8X, this is I used to trade both of these together. And this was in the, I think 300s or 400s at one point in time.
Yeah, it was 340, it looks like up here. Right. After it hit that, then it just came like it basically did a
Yeah,
straight
the
drop
broad
down.
information. Yep.
Yeah. So I would say it's probably targeting at least for, if you're looking to go a month or two out, you probably should be targeting that 132.16. But yeah, it's coming from the bottom. You look at the different hybrid time frames, 6 week, 7 week. Um, yeah, basically it's everything is showing you that it's bouncing
You know
off
something
the
else cheap? You
on
know something else
information.
that's cheap that some money can be made on. You just got to buy a bunch of contracts on that CCL shit.
I actually missed it, but I saw the cruise ETF earlier. Um, yeah, I can't believe I missed it because CCL is my baby, and I stopped paying
Man,
attention to her.
man, as far as I'm concerned, we are bullish until invalidated. Um, Literally, and they're swinging through data days, news, and all that shit.
So
Until we are proven that we are bullish. I do not recommend shorting shit. You may catch a day or two of bearish type of shit, but all these charts is showing bullish.
yeah, so for end phase, target that 130, right? Target the 130. It has a $5 ATR, so I would say target the 130 for January. Let me even check that out. Hold on. End phase January 19th, the 130s are asking $1.82. And the the volume's still low, but the open interest is at almost 1,500. So, and the volume's still good enough, I would say that you'll still be able to get out. Spreads aren't too bad. It's about a difference of about $8 for the 130 for end phase. And then if it takes off, even better, right? Because above that 130, over here you have a PMG setup to the upside as well too. So PMG setup, then it had a little bit of consolidation before it took the next leg down. So might find a little resistance around the 130 range, but if it gets there with time, um, then you have enough time for that pullback and then the next leg up potentially. What was the other ticker you said? Oh, CCL.
Yep. But really, what you should do, you gotta show them why we. I'm gonna say get our bias. Go to X. How you say this? XYL. I mean XLY.
Mm. Before before you joined in the Discord, I went to XOY, but
Oh,
that's
all
fine.
right.
If anybody brand new, just real quick, XOY on the monthly, it it did its run up, right? It did its run up over here and then pulled back, bouncing off of this level right here, right? Basically the 12-month low, right? So it bounced off of that. And then you see with the fibs, we had the corrective activity pull back to the equilibrium. Just a little bit below that, stayed in the zone of the 0.62 and the equilibrium, went into discount. Buyers started buying up. They literally waited until price got back to below this level. Buyers stepped in, started buying up, or the algos or the interbank, whatever way you want to look at it. Then we got the 2-2 reversal. But this, if you look at these past three candles right here, is 3-2-2 rev strat, right? So when you see stuff like that for XLY, obviously it's telling you that the buyers are stepping in and they're starting to step up in the discretionary sector, consumer discretionary sector, right? So with that being said, CCL is one of those tickers. So is Tesla, um, is one of those tickers as well too. I'm pretty sure Amazon's probably showing bullish as well too. And
You know
as
what
you can
else? You
see,
know what other sectors showing super bullish? IGV.
I haven't looked at that one yet, but I'll take a look. Right. So with there, right? So pretty much kind of did the same thing as what XOY did. except that it dropped a little bit. Actually, it dropped into the OTE range, right? So from 0.62 to 0.70 yeah, I said that right, 0.705 before bouncing. Either way, it's still corrective activity, right? You got this really liquidity void. I think, you know what? Let me stop with the ICT. But anyway, we went two up candle, right? Came back, filled the fair value gap, and then now once it's done that, returning there, buyer stepped in, bringing price action right back up. So my belief is that we're gonna come back to try to attack this high, the swing high up here for CCL. But it is a slow mover, right? So I'm not saying you got to go after the 20 call. I'll probably say maybe look at the 17, somewhere in the middle of that, so that if it does end up hitting the 20, then even better. But as you can see, CCL is on its move up. And then if you think about seasonality, it's holiday season. People are probably traveling for the holidays as well too. On the 6 week, we almost went outside. This is technically a two down candle. It didn't go outside, just barely missed it, right? So we almost went outside on the 6 week. So we're looking for the 2-2 continuation to the upside for CCL, right? So, and again, 2-1-2 on the week, right? So it's basically on its run up. So I would probably target, like I said, probably like the 17, possibly even the 18. And again, give yourself time. We're talking something for January, by the way. It's very cheap and small account friendly. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be cheap. Let me see. January 2024, the 17 fives are $47. You can definitely load up. Probably an investment of 500 would get you just a little bit over.
Defensive coordinator at Iowa, and just
Somebody
literally bring
watching
a great
TV. Hold
defensive
on.
coordinator.
All right, I don't know what that was about, but um, so yeah, I would say it could probably get. I think it's like 11 contracts it'll get you, 10 or 11, somewhere around there. No, just 10. My bad. Yeah. So if you had the $500 and you invest in CCL, this could probably really pay very well. And then yeah, as you're hitting targets, you can probably start taking profit and leaving runners. It is a slow mover. I'm gonna just tell you that it moves about 50 cents a day, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, as long as you have the patience, you know, this thing could really can really pay. As you can see, like over week, like once it chooses direction, it usually keeps trending in that direction for a good hot minute before consolidation, and then again trending down. Like this is weeks, right, where it's trending down. So, like I said, it's in a pretty decent position to keep pushing up. I think again, we'll probably see it attack that 1955 level before possibly exhausting and returning and starting to pull back. What else we got? Oh, sorry. Let me look at the chat real quick. Damn, you can get plugged out to 2020. Yes, you can. You very much can. Yeah, so like I said, we're trying to look for, not just like Ferrari tickers, but also some swings that yes, they may take some time. But yeah, if you set it and forget it, a lot of these things could really, really pay over time. Like I get that it's not the fast money. I totally understand that. But you know, if you could do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? If you got the patience for it, definitely do it. Yeah, another sector that I'm already in, just to be clear, I'm already in cat, but another sector that I definitely like and I think is coming for that swing high, right? We have this one high over here. I mean, look how price just like kind of bounced, like it made just a slightly lower low and then bounced from that order block.
Man, look here. The crazy thing about this here, bro, UNP. The shit made all this fucking gains Friday, dog. And I was looking at some contracts for January.
Did you get in?
Of course not. I forgot about it.
He said, of course not. Um, but yeah, like XLI is definitely pretty hot right now. Like, so I think we take out this first swing high with the 109.15, and then I think this is all-time highs, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think if we go above 111.12, we're looking at all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, because that was the previous all-time high. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a good chance that it's coming back to do the same thing for XLI. And then again, looking at it's kind of similar to what we saw for XLY, right? Just probably a little bit of a deeper pullback, but I'm pretty sure if we run the fibs from there to there, yeah, equilibrium on that, right? It's just if we run it from this side, it pulled back even further from this swing low to that swing high. But when you go from one end of the Broadman formation to the other, it basically came back to the equilibrium. Actually bounced off of it a couple of different times. Once it got above that level, bounced here, there as well too. So, clearly the buyers definitely wanted to step in anytime price went at a discount, they immediately stepped up. So from a strat perspective, we're looking at TTO back to the upside for XLI. So again, that takes us back into the all-time high range above 111.12. Again, looking at the 6 week, we did go outside. But one of the things that intrigued me about XLI was the fact that, um, price action basically, I think it was on a larger time frame that I was looking at this. Yeah, here we go. Basically, price action kept bouncing off of this range over here that I have shaded in blue, and it did it again as well too. With this last two down candle over here, it actually went 322 rep strap, bounced off the same exact range. So you got to like when I'm looking at things like that, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. If price is like pretty much bouncing in the same area multiple times over and over again, that should, it's something that you definitely want to pay attention to. And then yeah, again, we running it up right now. So there's definitely cat. Um, I'm in the 265s for December 15th. I think somebody said they was in the 300s for January. I don't know if I want to go out that far, but for cat, um, actually, I'll just show you. I'll just show you my levels. But for UMP, yeah, so UMP is very similar to what we were just seeing, right, on the monthly. Pretty sure. But this time it sank a little, it obviously sank way lower than the equilibrium and then bounced off. It actually ended up in OTE range, right? So this would have been a beautiful buy right here, right down here in this range right here. Beautiful buy to run it up from, what was that? Like 200 all the way up to, what are we at? 231. So yeah, $30 move right there would have been beautiful. Right. So the only thing I'm gonna say about UMP is just be careful with this level because these two candles over here also exhausted around the same exact level. Doesn't mean that it's gonna reject and then come right back to the range. It just means you need to be aware of this level. This is where price is exhausted before. So this time around, what we can potentially see is price action taking out either the 240.48. Actually, it's probably going to exhaust somewhere in here, or maybe just creep up a little bit higher than the 242 before you start to see exhaustion. So if you do jump in, I'll probably target the 240s, and I would tell you that if it does get above 242, that's probably where you want to take your profit um, off the table. And if it continues running high, you just need to be okay with that. Honestly, you just need to be okay with that. Looking at it from a weekly standpoint, strong two candles. So looks like the bulls are still in force. FTC is bullish as well too. So the expectation would be for a continuation next week. And then the daily, yeah, so strong 2 candle, looking for the 322, looking for that 322 continuation, and then yeah, coming to attack and take out that high, that 240 high up there. For cat real quick, check the cat real quick. Oh, I didn't say it could yield anything. I didn't do the math. I would have to analyze it, but yeah, we can quickly do that. Hold on. So for CCO, if let me analyze real quick and then put in the 1955 level. So if you got the 17.5s for January, oh, hold on, shit not working. One second. Oh, there it is. Okay. So if you did that, and then let's put 19.5, and then let's say that happened December, we'll say by the end of December, December 29th, right? Yeah, hold up. Did I choose 10 contracts? Yeah. So those 10 contracts, you'll be in profit almost 2,000. If it happen, if you get to 1955 by the end of December, if that does happen, right? If we did it for January, let's say the week before January 19th, then yeah, 1,600. So anywhere between the range of 15 to $200. So excuse me, 15 to $2,000. That's how much you'd be in profit, right? So again, I know it's not huge numbers like the Ferrari list, but shit, that's actually not bad. There's something you just set and forget it, and you don't have to really do anything. You just let it do its thing. Yeah, I'll take it. Um, cat. So excuse the mess, but the target that I have for cat is 275.56. That's the target that I have for cat. So I would say, yeah, for January, I know the person said they was in the 300s, but honestly, I probably feel more comfortable with either the 280s or the 275s. I know it's going to be more expensive, but I feel more comfortable with that. I'll probably choose the 280s, to be honest with you, because I know cat can move. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, cat can't move or cat slow or whatever. It's not. But yeah, I would just feel more comfortable. That 300, like that's just a lot that it has to go through because we're at 289 up here. It's a lot of exhaustion in that range, right? So you're basically asking it to, I think, make all-time highs if you're talking about the 300. Yeah, right? So you're basically asking it to take out a previous all-time high. So I don't know about all that. So I would say probably I would say probably the 280s is what I would look at. But I've been stalking this one since Sunday. Um, and I kind of wish I had paid attention to it a little bit earlier in October. The last week of October, look at how it bounced um from the this fib range right here. Like this would have been a beautiful buy, got in early, and then I mean, imagine how much we'd be up at 250 if we would have gotten the 250s back here when the shit was down at 224. Oh my God. Anyway, um, can I go over Riot for a swing? Looking at it due to BTC movement, and I don't know it's supposed to be coming. I don't know about the halving because honestly, I have not paid attention to what Bitcoin's been doing. Kudos to everybody that's been making dough, though, right? Um, I've really been focused more on quality over quantity. So once I find like my 2 or 3 tickers, I want to swing. I usually just stick with it, and I'm not really looking at anything else to play. I would just look at them more for the group and find them plays for the group. Um, but let me see. Actually, first, what I do is like anytime I think about playing Riot Mara or what's the other one? Riot Mara Coin. Oh wow, how the hell do I forget about Coin? We take a look at Bitcoin first. What a run. Jesus. What a run. No wonder y'all been going crazy on this shit. What a run though. Holy shit. Look at y'all. Look at it go. Oh yeah, that was a beautiful entry right there. Anybody who got in right here, that's a beautiful entry. Man, because even if you missed the first run up, that second leg up, ooh, look at that liquidity. All right. So so for Bitcoin, so what are we looking at? Are we looking for it to take out the $40,000 range right there? So, I mean, honestly, it's a psych level too, so that's probably where you're going to start to see some exhaustion. Probably. I could be wrong, but probably. If that's the case, then your next leg up is 47,458. It's definitely probably going to pull back before it gets to that level at the 47,458. My money would be on it pulling back after it takes out this level, the 40,000 40,050 right there, right? Uh for the interest of time, let me just take a look at straight bullish. Damn. Bears had no chance. And you know what? I bet you all through this shit, somebody was dumb enough to keep trying to short this bitch too. And probably kept losing so much money, forcing them to cover. And that probably added to the buying pressure. Gotta love it. Yikes. All right. So clearly Bitcoin is very bullish, right? Um, yeah. I wouldn't even think to short this shit at all. All right, so with that being said, let me go ahead and take a look at Riot. I have no idea why my trading view. Is anybody else's trading view been acting weird? Coin went crazy on Friday. Yeah, I bet. Looking at Bitcoin, hell yeah. For swings, you're looking at the month chart. But which time frame do you mark your entries and price targets? Entries would either be on the daily or the weekly for me. Price targets would be on the weekly and the monthly for me, depending on how far out my contracts are. So, like for example, if my contract is 3 to 6 months out, I am probably at the smallest time frame. I'm paying attention to the weeklies as far as targets. More than likely, I'm probably paying attention to monthly targets. If it's 3 to 6 months out, if it's a month, I'll probably mark out daily targets. But honestly, my take profit target would more than likely be a weekly target. Probably the first weekly target, and then that's probably where I'll leave runners and see if we can run up. So I kind of do it like this, right? If it's a month out, I'll probably have the first target. I'll mark off the daily entry. If it triggers, I'll probably take the daily entry, but my target's going to be probably the first weekly target. If it hits weekly target at that point, if I have multiple contracts, I'm probably taking a couple of contracts off the table, leaving maybe one or two, maybe three runners, depending on how many contracts I had to begin with, and let them run to see if they hit the second weekly target. If they hit the second weekly target, and I'm more than likely up, I don't know, 150, 200, we'll say 200 plus percent, I'm probably taking my money in off the table. Like right now, my cat, I'm gonna come back to Riot. Give me a second, because I just want to answer Kimberly's question real quick. Um, So technically my cat's not a month out, right? I have 2 weeks left on that. So right now I'm at 170%. So I'm looking at taking profit somewhere between 260 and 269, right? And because I have I already took profit off the first contract and I have one contract left. I'm leaving that as a runner. Um, if it's, if it runs up and hits, I'll put it to you like this, because it's a runner, because it's
Yes.
a,
No worries.
hello?
Yeah, 8 hours.
Hold on,
That's fine.
bro. Like, anyway. So because it's a runner, I'm sorry, I forget, it's a runner. Get rid of that. I'm probably looking, unless something drastically happens at the 260 level, I'm probably looking to see if it'll run up to 269, right? Or higher. If it gets anywhere into this order block to retest this order block, that's probably where I'll take profit. So you see, as you can see, because it's less than a month, I have daily entries that I have marked out as well too. But let's say we were over a month. Hold on. Oh, I could have sworn I heard somebody talking. My bad. Or is that me echoing? Yeah, I'm echoing off of somebody's. Hold on. There we go. All right, I think that works. Yep, echo gone. Somebody had me off mute. Anyway, don't matter. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. But you get my point, right? So if it's something, it depends on the time frame. There's a gap on the 60-minute at 260. Cool, because I don't look at the 60-minute, I look at the 65er, but that's even better. Yeah, it's a runner, so I'm probably just gonna let it run. I actually on Friday I stopped watching it probably a little bit after 2. I had meetings, so I was like, man, I hope this shit when I got out of the meeting, I'm like, I hope this shit doesn't pull back. And it did, it actually kept going up. So I'm like, yes. I've been stalking her since like Sunday, yo. So I'm really happy that that swing really played out. No problem, Kimberly. No problem at all. Okay, back to Riot. Why is this thing? Yo, what is up with TradingView? I literally just typed Riot 3 different times and it wasn't taken until just now. And I know it's not my computer because all my other programs have been moving fine. Okay. Well, as soon as everything else loads. All right, there we go. So, the 255 call, what expiration for December 15th? Yeah, I mean, it's at 256 now, so you definitely should be, well, yeah, it should definitely be banging. Yeah, between XLI and just seeing how much Cat was, I know, I'm coming back to Riot. I promise I'm coming back to Riot. It's the last thing I'm gonna say about Cat. No matter if y'all say anything else about it, I'm gonna ignore it and go back to Riot. But any day now. Come on, TradingView. Any day now. Okay. So right here is what ultimately this area right here, these 5 candles right here was ultimately where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna jump out of Cat, right? Because it just kept consolidating right around the equilibrium. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
if it's either it's gonna drop,
You
which
not work, go home. I don't even know where to go to the bar and have a drink at no more.
oh my goodness.
You know about the food?
I'm sorry, Darwin.
What's the name?
Dude, you keep taking yourself off mute, bro. Um, I don't know if you can hear me, but I need you to yeah, thanks, bro. All right. Okay. So anyway, it's just basically it's been consolidated around equilibrium. Fibs are important. You know, if you see price kind of hovering around that, I'm not saying it's a sign that it's going to go up, but clearly something is making it stay. And then even when it pulls back, like what it did here, to me, that was just a manipulation. And then we get the distribution to the upside, right? We had the consolidation, the manipulation. I'm sorry, we had the accumulation, the manipulation, and then the distribution to the upside. Or strat terms, we had consolidation. Technically, that would be a 2 down, and then rev strat 2 up right there. So yeah, it's just so funny how the two concepts basically are saying the same exact shit, but in just their own way. I love the strat and ITT, I swear. All right, so now to Riot. Okay, so with Riot, so now that we know what Bitcoin is doing as well, I mean, obviously Riot's probably gonna follow suit. Um, it looks like Riot probably bound. Yeah, see? So when you draw the fibs from the swing low to the swing high on the monthly, Riot bounced exactly in the OTE range, right? So actually, right around this area would have been a perfect buy if you wanted to get in early, and then it ran up. So that, and then looking at the weekly, we're 2-2 continuation strong. Not to mention, there is a no, that's not a PMG. Never mind, because that's a 2 up, so that breaks it up. But technically, had this been a 2 down, you would have had a PMG. But either way, this is all fair value gaps as well too that need to be, filled, right? So that's one right there. Here's one right here. If I drew that correctly, probably, yeah, drew it correctly, right? So it's basically eating up through all this liquidity um, that happened over here. So, you know, I'm not saying it's going to automatically come back to the swing high all the way at the top at the 20, but I would say the 15 call is definitely in play. I don't know how far out you're looking to go, but I would say the 15 call is definitely in play for Riot. Let me see the 2 day. Yeah, see on the 2 day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, on the 2 day, here's your pivot machine gun. Starting with this inside candle right here. So essentially you've already taken out the low targets right here, but you had that target to take out, that target to take out, and these are all in the fair value gap. So uh, hence the reason why I'm saying the 15. I think it's gonna take out that 1485. So if you get the 15 and it ends up exhausting somewhere between the 1485 and 1570, um, even better. You know what I mean? I'll probably say look at the 15 call for December 15th. I don't know if that's what you're looking at or if that's what you're in, but I'm actually curious now to see what. Um, just full disclosure, I have no intention to play this. I'm just answering Roddy's question, just so everybody knows. So please don't later on ask me if I'm still in Riot or for what's the exit or anything like that. Yeah, the 15 call for December 15th is only $60, so definitely very cheap. Open interest is almost 9,000, over 1,500 on the volume as well too. And yeah, we actually had the little pullback on Thursday, and then the bulls came back in very strong with the 2-2 reversal too. So yeah, it's definitely still looking very strong, and we know that for Bitcoin. It's probably targeting that $40,000 range before probably exhausting and coming back. So I'm pretty sure that will equate to 15. Now, the only thing I am going to say is that um, Riot, what? Yeah, that was almost a 10% move um for Riot. So you may get a little bit of a pullback in correctional activity, maybe a profit taking pullback. Um, but yeah, with the 15 call, so I'm saying that to say you don't have to jump in immediately on Monday, but yeah, the 15 call probably would be something I would be looking at for December 15th. Yeah, it's only $60. So I mean, shit. If I don't know well, no, you banking because I saw your. I mean, shit. I mean, you could probably invest about 1,000 in that, and nah, bro, you already put it in. You already, you already put in profit and loss. Hey, I ain't pocket watching. I'm congratulating. Seriously, real shit. I don't really pocket watch. I think it's real cool that you gained. So yeah, you could probably put in about 1,000 on that shit and it won't really affect your port at all. Not to mention, take a look, right, when you get to the smaller time frames, it's in a fair value gap now on the daily actually, right? It cleared this gap, the actual gap, but it's in a fair value gap as well too. That takes it up to 1430. Yeah, so I mean it could legitimately ride up to 1485, 15 levels, honestly. I mean shit, there's even another fair value gap right there as well too. Yeah, there's a lot of targets for this shit to take out. A lot of targets for it to take out. I mean, hell, if it gets an immaculate run like what it did, what Bitcoin was doing this week, you know, after maybe some profit taken and then, gets a nice little run towards the end of next week. Um, if you target in the 15 and it ends up somewhere north of 16, I mean, shit, that'll work out. That'll work out. Anyways, I haven't fully done all of my charting. Those are some of the plays that I had looked at. I would also say I don't know what's going on with news for oil, but I would definitely say to keep it on your radars, right? And here's why. So on the monthly XLE, right, when you draw your fibs from this swing low up to this swing high, um, last month it already bounced, right? It came back into the 0.62 range, bounced from that, and just sat right on top of equilibrium. Obviously, this is only one day of work, but so far it's bounced off of equilibrium. So to me, that kind of signals that, okay, maybe I know actually is energy and not specifically oil, but let's be real, a lot of the energy tickers are related to oil. Then also, if you take a look at, why am I typing it when I have it already? When you take a look at, I looked at the CL futures, and I'm gonna totally admit I'm not a futures guy. I was just looking at the chart, kind of see where potentially oil might be going. Hmm. So with oil, we had the run up and then we had the pullback, right? If you pay attention, it's been, oh shit, in this range right here, right? You notice it's kind of always bounced when it's hit that range. Now, on the monthly, price is actually approaching the OTE range as well. It's still a down candle. I'm keeping it a stack, right? But it is in a range where, in my opinion, that might start to become very appealing for the buyers to start stepping in. It's below equilibrium, so we know it's at a discount on the monthly level. So those monthly investors or the algos or whatever the hell, whatever way you want to look at them, they might start buying up, especially if it comes back into the same range where it exhausted over here before. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Um, it's again still giving you shooter vibes. So I'm not saying this is something to enter, but this is something that you should probably keep on watch. Especially if it returns back down to this range down here. Look at how many times that we've wicked off of this range. So basically anything sub 70, right? How many times we've wicked off of that range in the weekly. So again, not an immediate move, but I think XLE, I would say watch that over the next couple of weeks. I think it's setting up, and oil is setting up for something over the next couple of weeks, right? If not this week. If it does happen this week, cool. But definitely looks like oil is definitely setting up. And on the weekly, obviously, you could even draw that broadening formation if you don't see it. There's one right there. It's coming off the lows, right? So I know oil was showing you the shooter, but then when you look at XLE, look over the past 3 weeks, look at where we have exhausted and bounced from, right? Down candle, exhaustion, two up, and then we ended up with slightly bearish inside candle, or yeah, slightly bearish inside candle, but it closed above the closure of the previous week, right? So I think that yeah, XLE might start making a move to the upside, if you ask me. And if that's the case, then what you should be looking at are things like ECTOM. Jesus Christ, trading view. I want my money back. This how y'all do us? Okay. So XOM again, not quite ready just yet, but obviously it's definitely at a discount for sure. Even if you probably draw it back to here, same thing. Definitely at a discount for sure. But yeah, nothing actionable just yet. But yeah, I would suggest you definitely keep this on your radars. Um, I think SLB is probably looking. Yeah, if I glanced at it, I haven't fully charted it out, but SLB was probably looking pretty decent to me. Um, I guess it has a fair value gap on the weekly. I quickly drew that one out. Um, and so far, you know, we've exhausted in below the equilibrium. And so I think we might have a potential for reversal. Basically, it's kind of been following the blueprint that I did over here, right? Pullback, it's still making higher lows. So it's still technically trending up, even with this pullback here, because it's still making higher lows. And then when you look at the weekly, again, exhausting, came back to retest the same order block. Stop with the ICT. But is exhausting in the same exact range it's exhausted before. Fair value gap, it hasn't filled it. It looks like it's just been trying to keep invalidating it. So we'll see what's up with it. But again, you get my point. Definitely something to keep on watch. Because yeah, obviously, with the right type of news, XLE could end up running. So I suggest that you keep this on watch because you could probably make a nice little bag off of it. All right. Do I trade CBS? Yeah, I've traded it before. I haven't traded it in a while, come to think of it. But yeah, I've definitely traded it before. I remember trading it up to when it was in the 160s range. Um, I like that though. I like that it keeps exhausting around the same. See, so this is basically the consolidation. So what um what's probably going to happen is whatever move it makes from the consolidation is probably going to be the fake out. So ideally what we would want to happen, right, if we're bullish on it, for example, right? So here's your consolidation, right? Let me get rid of Shit, that's not what I'm gonna do. Come on, focus, man, focus. There we go, take that. All right. So here's your consolidation. What we're looking for it to do is make the first move, which is the fake out. If we want it to be bullish, we want the first move to be that. We want it to expand to the downside, right? And then we want the real move to be that if it's bullish, right? Just my 2 cents on it. But if it ends up being bearish, it'll probably do that move first and then head down. Arguments for it being bullish for CVX is, well, you got that fair value gap right there, right? So eventually that's got to get filled. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I guess whenever this recording finally converts, I'll go ahead and post it. But yeah, y'all got some tickers to look at. Keep in mind, we didn't really give entries or anything like that. These are just things that have potentials for swing. So chart it out. If you like that swing, chart it out. Have a game plan. This is the beauty of the swings. You can actually, and I suggest that you do write out your game plan. Like, okay, if it does this, then I'm going to do that. These are the targets that I'm looking for. This is when I plan to take profit off of it, right? And this is how much time I'm going to give it realistically, right, to do it. Pay attention to the ATR. You don't want to jump into something like CCL, say it's going to move $3 and only give it, like 2 weeks to do it. You want to give it some more time. All right. All right. Anyway, no problem. So love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll see y'all later. All right.